Hey folks, today for rather a bit of a surprise to me, I've actually got a bit of a plan, which it's not going to happen very many times, but can't worry about it too much because apparently Mediacom is terrible. All right, so what we were going to do is we need to adjust a few different files. Once it actually opens. Okay, and we don't really need that. There we go. So the first thing we need to adjust is our game pieces need directionality, because if you think about it, let's get this loaded. You'll also notice another mistake here in the loading is this should not be a headquarters, it should be a dock. But we'll fix that. Maybe not today, but just in general. That's because we didn't have two buildings, so the loading system was just loading one building. Um, yeah, so what we need to do next is we need to basically, like I was saying, sorry, I was getting distracted a little bit. We need to basically add in the ability to turn these things, because if you imagine the dock as a building that is, say, let's what, two? No, that's the wrong way. Yeah, if you imagine it as a building like this, or realistically, this part would be underneath where it says dock. But when you turn it 90 degrees, the part that's sticking out would be sticking out in a different direction, different cardinal directions, right? So let's cancel that, and we're going to go into the game piece class. By default, things will be pointing north. We'll just leave it at that. And there we go. So it'll probably be based on an enum. So public enum direction, north, east, south, and west. Private direction. Okay. Oh, we're actually going to add in dummy just so that I'll notice when I don't actually set it properly. So by default, they will be dummy. Their direction will be dummy rather than, well, I guess we did say it was going to be north, so we'll just do north. But we'll keep that just in case for other things. Yeah, so we have our directions set up. We obviously need to add in some code to change the direction of the game piece. So we've got public virtual void change direction. Now, how do we want to pass that through? Oh, howdy, lawman. I like that it says your stream is experiencing minor issues. Like, well, that's one way to put it. Close that. Well, I'm just shocked you can actually hear me given how many frames I'm losing. Yeah. Weird. Okay, whatever. So yeah, we're gonna be doing. We're changing the direction. Oh well, I appreciate that. I know your whole work and life schedule's all wacky. Change direction. So we probably want to pass the direction through. Or do we just want it to be able to turn left or right? Hard to say. So for now, we'll just have it go clockwise. Direction equals. We'll just do some thinking here. Direction. We actually need to know. Whoops. Holy free holies. I'll do that real quick so we don't get any errors. Final direction equals int direction dot northeast southwest. So west. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to increment the direction by 1, and then if it is west and it goes beyond, or if it goes beyond west, then we'll switch it back to north. So direction equals direction. Can I just do that? I imagine I can't. Oh, it will let me do that. Okay. Direction plus plus. Direction's already looking like a fake word to me, even though we just started using it. All right. If direction is greater than final direction, direction equals 0. That should work. I'm actually curious, can you just with enums? Let's see here. I've never tried this before. Alright, well, we'll give it a shot. If it works, it works. Direction by 1 to the right. And eventually what we would do is we'd make this check which way you're doing, like what button you're pressing, because maybe Q will be turning it to the left, and then E would be turning it to the right. In fact, let's see here. There's something I need to do with my webcam too. Transform, flip horizontal. Because now if I say left, right, yep, okay, we're good. And you can just have a ghost microphone. Oh, I gotta fix my little box though. There you go. Much better. Now you could probably do a modulus thing for this, but I don't really want to think about it right now, so I'm not going to. That's one of the luxuries of doing your own work and not having to do code reviews or anything. You just do whatever the heck you want and leave it at that, you know? There you go, move that over there. Move my music player out of the way. Alright, so we've got our direction changer. And I guess, yeah, this could be int. So then if oh, whoops. Whoa! Managed to move my one of my screens over. That was weird. Alright, so turning right, a negative new direction is turning left. Easy peasy to remember. Especially now that I put it in there. I'm gonna get rid of this params thing because I don't really use those too much. Okay. So now we've got our direction setting. Now the next thing we need to do is adjust the rotation. Now the easiest way to do that generally is with do tween, and now I'm just thinking real quick if that's what I want to do. One sec, let's see here. Unity, rotate, transform by degrees. Will transform.rotate just do what I want, or do I need to know quaternions here? Let's see. Well, let's find out. Transform.rotate applies a rotation of Euler angles .z degrees around the z axis. Interesting. So we established in the scene that we want to rotate. Let me go find it. We established that we want to rotate around y, I think? Yes. So we want to rotate around y. New vector 3. We'll say this for now. Because if nothing else, this will immediately show us. Oh, interesting, but then it's asking me for an angle here. Am I misunderstanding? Let me look back at the example they gave. Space.world? Yeah, I think so. Is that it? Well, let's find out. Okay. Did I just lose my... I should really turn off the auto-saving of the scene when I close, because if I edit while it's open, the save breaks and it clears my save. Alright, so we'll go look at the clone. We have a test rotation button here. Hey! What happens if we do -1? Oh, it's still going to... Oh, yeah, because I haven't fixed that part yet. Herp de derp. And our direction, obviously, is not cycling properly. Oh, because I was going negative. So northeast, southwest, northeast, southwest. Okay, so we do need to fix the negative direction. If direction is greater than final direction, make it 0. Or if direction is less than 0, make it 0. So let's try... We'll do that, and then we need to do... Is this right? I think that might actually be right. Which would be wild. So put a few pieces down. What song is this? Kind of nice. Oh, Gran Turismo, huh? Okay. Didn't expect such a peaceful song to be in a racing game. New direction is 1. So it didn't quite work. Because it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 90, 180, 270. So 90 times 0 is 0, 90 times 1. And we have north would be 0, that's correct. East would be 90, south would be 180. It sounds like that should be right. Well, let's look at this again. So we're currently at west, which is definitely not the case. So we go from north to east. And the HQ text is pointing to the east now. And then we'll go east to south. Ah, now it's on negative 90. Why would that be the case? Oh, right. This is probably that, again, like I was saying, the whole like gimbal locking or something along those lines. So let's actually, we'll debug out the math and just see if that's right. And if that's right, then we may switch over to G-Tween. Because I don't care to figure out that stuff. If rotational math was so complicated that the guy who solved it, Euler, I think it was, if him solving it made him a household name. I'm sure there was other reasons. He's probably a genius mathematician in many senses of the word. But I don't want to deal with it, right? Like, if it required a genius to piece together, I don't got time for that. They already took care of it for me. Okay, so new direction, we got 1. So 90, 180, 270, 0. Okay, so those are correct. Alright, so next we will do a transform.do. Alright, we should probably actually add the class here using dg.tweening. And we'll just do transform.do rotate. And that should be this. Whoops, not normalized, please. Duration, I want it to be instant and fast beyond 360, I believe. Apologies, that's probably a bit loud. Watching my bitrate bounce back and forth is so depressing, but I will probably message them again today. If I keep harassing them, eventually they'll either do something or give me a discount.
Doubtful.
What did you say?
Doubtful.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could try. Okay, so oh yeah, I forgot I got camera controls. So pleased with that. It's actually a lot. Oh, the moment I said it was a lot smoother, it just vanishes on you. Where did it go? Huh? Negative 10. Where are you, camera? There we are. I'll have to figure out what that is. There's some sort of like, the value jumps really dramatically. I'll have to figure out what that... Oh, I did it again. I wonder what that is. I think I noticed it just now. Maybe we'll solve that real quick. Was it because I touched a building? No, it doesn't seem so. And then now it's all choppy. Fascinating. Yeah, I'll look into that later. I don't have time for that right now. Alright, so back to what we were doing before I got distracted. Boop. 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 Hey! Cool. That's good. I'm glad I got that solved. So now we have rotation. We still need to hook up the code for it, beyond debug messages, but yeah, you work with what you got. I wonder. No, that's correct. Okay, so that's done. Handy dandy. I'm glad that was mostly painless. Probably get rid of some of these. So give that a save, and so the next thing we need to do is actually put in the controls for that. Now, where would I want that? I suspect I would want that in the settings here, under building. So we've got rotate piece. No bindings currently, but we'll fix that. Listen, I think we will go with Q and E for now. Q. And we'll add another E. And these will be valid for keyboard and mouse. And just press. We're not going to do hold. That's not worth our time. Alright, so those are good. And then that's currently... that would be the input controller, I believe. Yes, that's exactly where we want it. Go in the input controller. Public void rotate piece. And I believe we can get the name of the button, or the name of the key rather. So let's debug.log value. Okay, we did not save yet, did we? There we go. Okay, let's see here. Save that. And pause. So we do see it. So we've got... let's do this again real quick. Clear it. Q. Turns value of 1. E. Okay. So action, control, perhaps. Let's check that. And then we'll actually do... what on earth? Oh, Dragon Ball. I was like, vaguely familiar. Awesome. Progress. So we have our current piece. What are we calling that little guy? Game data. There we are. Dot rotate. Change direction. Right, that's what I called it. And then it will be value.name, was it? Oh man. What was it? That's Control Z a few times. Didn't mean to get rid of that debug log. There we go. We'll say int direction equals value.name. If that name is Q, whoops, Q, then we will do -1, otherwise 1. Should be fine. Or if we want it to be more proper, because we never know if we're going to add in more later. There we go. Break here. Break here. Do that. And direction equals -1. Alternatively, direction equals 1. We're actually going to make this nullable, which makes it slightly bigger, but it does not matter. And we can keep that the way it is. If direction does not equal null, then we'll do this. And system.int vert.toInt. There we go. That should cover us. A lot of writing to do very little. Okay, so then that will change the direction. So we might as well go try it. Okay, it's a little slower than I'd like. Oh, no, it's not. It's actually perfectly fine. It's just that Q is not wrapping around. So E is working fine, but if we do Q, once it gets back to 0, it's stuck. Howdy, Thug. Hope life's treating you well. I apologize for the stream freezing up constantly, but our internet provider is being an American internet provider, so here we are. All right, so if direction is oh, I am an idiot. All right, I see what happened here. This is, you think, working in the middle of the day that you're gonna actually get, like, make less silly issues, but then you still do it. If decrementing below, what gets me is, right, I'm gonna do a mini rant, I did it last time too. What gets me is, and you may not even pick up every word in this, again, because it's so trash, we're paying for 50 megabytes per second upload, right? And admittedly, it's gonna be a little bit off because I am streaming. So we're gonna be generous here, and we're gonna cut off. We'll add like say three to it because that's roughly what I seem to be actually streaming at right now. We'll add 4. So we'll let it do its download real quick. Oh, and we're 1,000 down, but I'm getting about 520. It's dropping rapidly because it can't even sustain. So 440. We're letting it go. So if we're generous and we add, it is an unstable 10 up, which you might think is like, oh, that's great. That's fantastic, right? That seems like a lot. However, it constantly drops to 0 while you're streaming, or if you're doing any sort of like constant thing. So if you were uploading data, or if you're doing anything where you're doing messaging, if it's just buffering and you can mask that issue, who cares? But if you're trying to get a constant stream going, then whenever this issue rolls in, my bitrate just bounces up and down from going up to about where it's supposed to be, down to 0, back up to where it's supposed to be, down to 0. Also, wow, you found a PS5, huh? Yeah, well, in defense, for the only time I will ever defend is the only time I'll ever defend ISPs. Part of the reason your downloads suck for PlayStation is because PlayStation Network sucks. I have an Xbox, not a PS5, but when I was using PS4 and Xbox at the same time, like over the same month, my downloads on the Xbox would be nearly instant, and all of my downloads on the PlayStation would take forever. And that's been the case since PlayStation 3. But yeah, if I could get a solid connection, and sometimes I do, like late at night, so I'm thinking that maybe somebody's like hooked into our network or something at this point. Like, I'm so suspicious, I have no idea. But yeah, it's brutal. It looks like a heart monitor on this little bitrate thing. But at any rate, the mistake I made here is that if you're going below 0, you don't want it to then clip back to 0 because then you're stuck. You want it to whip back around to the final direction. So now, when we come back into the code, into the game, so we'll take a terrain piece. All right, we've got backwards and forwards. Cool. Cool. All right. So that's all good. What else was I going to try and accomplish today? Oh, right. We were going to add in... So the way that currently we are determining whether or not you can put a block somewhere is we are asking if you... How do I word this? We are asking whether or not that space is taken or not. And previously I thought, oh, okay, well, what we can do is just have it check whether or not a block is there. And then I realized with something like a dock, where it's multiple pieces long, just putting it... In fact, we can do a visual here. Like, Don't fail me, camera. Just putting it in between this spot is not enough, right? Because if you imagine that it was 2 blocks long, like one more block under the word dock, then turning it this way would suddenly make it fail. But with our current logic, it would still be able to be placed there. Or if you did it like this and the dock was going into the ground, it would still work. So what we need to do is have a virtual function that can be overridden per block as needed. That, voice collection? Oh, one sec. That's a sound we can, or an audio file we can get rid of. Explore. Voice collection for Fire Emblem Awakening. Okay. We can just zip all those bad boys up. And archive. Delete after file compression. And skip ahead. There we go. So yeah, back to this. So we've got public, virtual, void, check, placement. That should be fine. Public virtual bool, actually. And by default, it's going to return false. My logic there is if I forget to set it on a block, the block will never work. And then... what would be a good example? Well, now that means that for the dock, for instance, we can't simply have the dock piece inherit from building. We need to actually inherit from its own class. So, dock. More or less. Except it's far less profitable. Oh, what are you complaining about here? I'm actually a little confused. Terrain. Oh, I'm an idiot. I see what I did there. My bad. I meant to open the doc file. Hey, when you do it right, there's fewer errors. Alright, so then we have public override and check placement. We don't want it to return the base because if it does, it'll always return false. What we want to do is we want to put false at the end, and then we want to discuss, or not discuss, we want to figure out, based on some information, whether or not this block can be placed. And real quick, we're going to save this, and we're going to actually edit the dock prefab so that visually we can see what I'm talking about. Obviously the name is not grass, but it gets updated on start. So we will duplicate the cube. What are you complaining about there? Oh, I see what you're complaining about. That's fine. Just keep that here. And we'll move it. Yeah, that makes sense because it's pointing north. So now when we bring this piece into the game, we'll notice, let's get rid of the wrong, my save mode is not correct. But now you can more easily see what I was talking about. This direction would be great, other than the fact that it's too high, right? We'll want it to be down. But this way would be bad, this would be bad, this would be bad, and so on. So we're going to go into the code, and we're going to think about that. So if direction, or let's put it this way. Vector 2, or vector 2 int actually is probably fine. Check position. Yeah, whatever. I know what it's supposed to be. Vector 2 int. Okay, so we need to do a switch based on our direction, which I didn't think I had made private, did I? I did. That's fine. Public direction get return direction private set direction equals value, and then we need to actually go down into some code. No, we don't. Cool, it actually all stuck. That's surprising. I welcome it. Very surprising, though. And that will mean that now direction can be seen. Oh, okay. It was just taking a moment. I'm like, this is definitely how this is supposed to work. North, east, south, west. I can think of a ternary way that you could do this shorter, but again, I'll come back and clean things up later. Making it work versus what matters the most. New vector to int, and that would be 1, 0. That would be 0, 1. That would be negative 1, 0. And that would be 0, negative 1. Now, a way you could do this in a single line, I think... Actually, no, you couldn't. I don't think. You could do each section as its own ternary. Oh no, that's 3 states, because it's neither one or the other. So yeah, that would be rough. We're not gonna do that. That'd be so hideous to read. Yeah, I guess you could do something like this. I don't want to worry about it. Anything can be done a million different ways. That's point. Not the point of this exercise. So we now have our check position. So there's pieces of data that we need here. There's a few different ways we could get it. One is by passing it through the function. Another is by adding a reference to the data we need on the game pieces themselves. And I'm thinking about which I would like to do. I guess for now, what we could do is just send it through, and then later we can put it in somewhere more convenient. So we'll say game data. Do we even need game data? I don't think we do. I'm just checking some real quick. And no, I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, we're just going to make it part of game pieces. Private game data. Protected game data. Should be able to serialize that. And should be able to reach it from here, correct? Yes. And same thing with map data. Is it not map data? Hold on. It's been a little while. Game data. From there, there's save data. Okay. And what we were doing before, to refresh my memory, on move thing raise, which would then trigger the map. Ah. Right, and so that previously wasn't a problem. It's still not a problem per se. Just gotta think for a moment here if there's anything I need to change. No, this will work. A bit messy, but it'll work for now. So, we'll just put it like that. So this is the first thing we're checking. It isn't necessarily the first thing we need to check. What it's doing is it's saying if you're pointing north, is the square one ahead of you? Oh, it's actually not doing that right now. We need to fix that. That would be game piece dot position. Is that what I was doing? Yeah. So we can actually get that information from here, from the object itself. That's pos, and then pos plus. Okay, so that takes our current position, and then it looks in the direction around it. And then we're already checking if the spot itself is occupied on the map. So this is really checking special placement currently. It seems reasonable. But we'll evolve from there, I'm sure. So this is checking forward. And then the next thing we need to know for the dock is if currently the only thing I care about is if there's a space directly behind it. So then we need to check if there's land behind the dock, which would be position. Oh, it'll be the opposite of check direction, which I think is just multiplying check direction by -1. Let's see here. Let's move that here just to make sure, see if it's completely incorrect. It's not. Okay. And then we're going to say if the space ahead of it is free and the space behind it is occupied. So if nothing in front and some land behind. Boom. Now, something else we probably should change, and maybe we'll just change it right now. Oh, it's stretching the muscles. No, it's we probably should move checking the specific spot the game piece is trying to plop into on the game piece itself rather than the map. That way it's all contained in the same location and we don't have half the logic happening somewhere and half the logic happening elsewhere, because that over time will just get more and more stressful and confusing. I think that's probably the case. So do I want to do that here? You know, probably. But that would be one layer down. Right? Would I want it all the way at the bottom? Let's see, I forget, did we... All right. So what we would do is we now have game data. So let's go back up to the dock real quick and steal that line. Still return false here, but on building, public virtual void, or sorry, public override, check placement, return, yeah, I guess we should just have position be data on the object itself. Protected vector to int pos get return. I'll just grab that line of code I did earlier. So whenever you type pos, that'll give you the basically the map position, the coordinates in integer values that the block is taking up. So for buildings, it'll check whether or not the spot is occupied and whether or not foundation. So if it is occupied and it requires foundation, I think that was what we established last time when I was getting all confused, was correct. So you want both of these to be true or both of these to be false. You don't want it to conflict. So then up here, we do a bool base check equals base.check placement. So now we have base check and is the base free? Is there space ahead and land behind? All right. I think that's good. Feeling pretty good about that. Let's see how it goes. Got a lot to save. Let's see here. Game's not running. That's good. Okay, we'll replace this building script with the dock script. What if I drop you on here? There you go. Okay, so that's good. That's all good. Again, we got some code that maybe we'll just go in and comment out right now. Because we're not actually doing it yet, and I don't like having a bunch of nonsense sticking around that's just muddying the code base and the inspector window. We want to just focus on what we're actually doing right now. Excite bike, that's funny. Save all. And now that that's all saved, this is considerably smaller. A little weirded out that the name text mesh isn't assigned. I don't recall assigning that at runtime. And then game data we need to fix on the base. No, we have to fix it for probably all of them actually. Huh? Wow, okay. Let's go find that. That's irritating. That's a Mario Kart 8 song? Holy cow. What sort of madness happened there, huh? Let's just skip ahead. Much better. Oh, man. So we've got our dock, headquarters. Grass. Okay. Okay. And then this needs to be set as building, subtype dock. The layer is correct. Max instances is fine for now. And it does not require a foundation. The building does. Okay. I'll probably see if I can do an editor script later so that when I make new instances of these classes, they automatically find the scriptable object and attach it. We'll see if we can do that sometime. And we can get rid of this for now. Try and get rid of some warnings in my debug log. CS0414. Good. Okay. So now we need to test the dock. Oh, it's not there. And it's not there because it's no longer on its shop object. Maybe that'll become a project soon for fixing. It's not there. That's not it. Wasn't up there. Now I gotta play the thinking game. Here we are. And then we can save that. Okay. So now we got our dock piece. It did place, but that's because I forgot to hook up the code in the input controller. Or, sorry, in the map. So we can get rid of this nonsense and just do game piece.check placement. And we're not sending anything through. And that should work. Okay. So the headquarters can still be placed, and it goes correct, so that's good. And then the dock can't go there, can't go there, but if we rotate it, wow, drat. I was getting optimistic there. Let's see, what would it be? We could start doing some breakpoints here. Find out what it is, and then I'll be able to end the stream at roughly almost exactly an hour, especially if I cut out the part where I get all depressed about my internet. Excuse me. Waiting for it to do its thing. There it is. All right, so check placement. We'll go, what is it, next in? Step into? Yes. So it's going to check here. And this is true. That's good. That's what it should be. So false. And, okay, so we're good. That's fine. That's fine. So base check is true. That's good. Front of dock space free is showing as false. So position is currently -2, -5. Let's see here. It's currently facing west. So if we add -1... Oh, I think this needs to be a minus, actually. Yeah. Let's try a minus there. Probably here too, frankly. Actually, no, plus is probably still correct there. We'll see. Realistically, adding and then inverting it is the same as subtracting, so maybe I'm still correct. It needs to be a minus, but I'm probably doing the same math twice, basically. Have to mull that over sometime. So grass still places just fine. That's good. The HQ places just fine. Maybe? Do we have... Oh! Breakpoints. I was like, did I just create an infinite loop? I got a little worried there. And then dock. Go in. True. That is correct. False and true. Uh-oh. So that's... Let's see here. -2, -5 is where it is currently. And we wanted it to check position... Let's see, 1. So that would be -1. So that's -3, -5. And that would be to the left of it, not to the right of it, I'm pretty sure. Wait a minute. If it's pointing north... It's pointing north, so the check position would be... Oh... Okay. Got my zigs and my zags mixed up. It happens. So was my other math wrong? Might not have been, actually. Come on, ice, do me a solid here. I mean, I guess it is doing me a solid. Do me a liquid. Okay, that's all good. That's good. That's good. Now, is there any direction where it will actually stick? I'm just trying to see if there's... No. Okay. So let's turn on our breakpoint again. We can get rid of this one, because that's actually working right now. So we go look, and sure enough, those should be both false. So now, let's click here. Okay, so that's correct. So the front of the dock being free is currently... Oh! Oh! Oh, we're getting there. Oh, okay. Whoops. I was checking if it was occupied and returning that as the is free value. If it's occupied, it's not free. Yeah. So this works. That does not. That does. That does not. But if we turn it, that does. Hey! Well, there we go. Okay, I think that's a fantastic stopping point for now. May come back in a few hours. We'll see how things go. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that, because now we'll be able to do custom logic for non-single cell blocks. Yeah. Well, definitely thank you to Thug for watching, because I was actually watching it myself on Twitch, and it's pretty miserable. But for anyone who watches it on YouTube, it'll be nice and crisp in HD. So, yeah, that's good. I'll be back later.